Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the likes.
The Chicago Bears must fix this before things get out of hand. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, make sure also you do me a huge favor by also hitting the like button on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. Bears fans, we have to talk about this. This has been something that we've talked about for months and months and months prior to the start of the NFL season. But as you all know, the Chicago Bears got a huge comeback win over the Tennessee Titans by a score of 24-17. And that was no thanks to the Chicago Bears offense. Caleb Williams and the rest of the offensive weapons on the outside, they looked off sync. They didn't look like they were in connection whatsoever. It was an absolutely terrible day by the Chicago Bears offense. But I want to point out one key reason why the Chicago Bears as a whole really had a tough day, and that was the Chicago Bears offensive line, particularly the starting center in Coleman Shelton. Bears fans, I'm going to put it lightly. Coleman Shelton had an awful day for the Chicago Bears offensive line. And we all know the history of the Chicago Bears offensive line, especially at the center position over the last couple of seasons. We're talking about Sam Mustipher. We're talking about Lucas Patrick. And now we have to deal with Coleman Shelton. This was probably one of the worst offensive lineman performances I have seen in a very long time from a Bears center. And that's saying a lot due to the fact that we also had Lucas Patrick, which he was terrible. We had Sam Mustipher. He was also terrible. Coleman Shelton definitely took the cake on one of the worst center performances we have seen in recent memory for the Chicago Bears offensive line. And don't get me wrong, I understand that he had to deal with Jeffrey Simmons. I understand it's a really tall task. But the amount of times that I saw Coleman Shelton either get beat or look lost, or he was head first in the ground or on his back, was a ridiculous number of times. And there was a lot of people saying, well, Caleb Williams was this, Caleb Williams is that, Caleb Williams didn't look good. When you have pressure coming right up the middle, no quarterback would succeed. The Bears have to figure this out quick. And I'm going to break down some tape on today's episode of Keek on the Mic just to explain on what I saw from Coleman Shelton. According to PFF, Coleman Shelton only gave up 2 pressures and a sack. But what I saw in yesterday's performance against the Tennessee Titans has to be fixed fast if the Chicago Bears want to see success on the offensive side of the ball. If Coleman Shelton remains the starting center for the Chicago Bears, this is going to be a long season, not only for Caleb Williams, but the entirety of the Chicago Bears offense. So let's go ahead and just break down a couple of plays of Coleman Shelton's performance against the Tennessee Titans, because Bears fans, it was that bad. Starting off with this play, it was early in the game, first quarter, about under 7 minutes left to go. It was a 1st and 10. Caleb Williams was under center. It was going to be a simple play action rollout. Watch how easily Sebastian Joseph Day beats Coleman Shelton on this rep. Bears fans, I have never played center or offensive lineman. I'm not big enough to play offensive lineman in the National Football League, but this was way too easy for Sebastian Joseph Day. And let me tell you something about this play. There was analysts out there blaming Caleb Williams on this play for holding on to the ball too long. How in the hell can you blame a rookie quarterback or any quarterback on that matter when your center gets beat that easily by one guy? We're not talking about Jeffrey Simmons here, right? And obviously Sebastian Joseph Day is also a very talented defensive tackle, but this was way too easy for him to get in the backfield just like that. Coleman Shelton has to be better on this play. This was just the first of many terrible plays by Coleman Shelton during this win by the Chicago Bears. Bears fans, this next play by Coleman Shelton was even worse. Once again, Caleb Williams was in shotgun formation. And what the Tennessee Titans are going to do on this 3rd down play on defense is just a simple stunt. So you can see as this play goes on how Nate Davis and Darnell Wright are going to take care of Jeffrey Simmons. For some reason, Coleman Shelton felt the need to go help on Jeffrey Simmons, even though he was double teamed, and let Harold Landry on a stunt get a free lane at Caleb Williams for a huge sack on third down. Bro, Coleman Shelton, Nate Davis, and Darnell Wright didn't need your help on Jeffrey Simmons. He was double teamed at that point. I understand if it was just Darnell Wright by himself and you went to go chip real quick and then got back to your man, but Jeffrey Simmons was double teamed, bro. Your job on that stunt was to take care of Harold Landry, and he totally lets Harold Landry just blow right by him and get a huge sack on Caleb Williams. Coleman Shelton, this is day one stuff as a center in the National Football League. Once again, I have no experience whatsoever playing center at a high level, but this to me seems like a very routine stunt play by the Tennessee Titans. Coleman Shelton should have realized this and should have been able to make a good block on Harold Landry, not just let him blow right on him and get a free shot at his quarterback. Coleman Shelton has to be better, Bears fans. Bears fans, this last play definitely takes the cake in yesterday's win over the Tennessee Titans. When I say Coleman Shelton was bad, he was bad. The Bears were finally in the red zone. We all noted that points were hard to come by. The Chicago Bears offense didn't score one offensive touchdown. Caleb Williams led a drive to maybe have a couple of field goals here and there, but there was no offensive touchdowns for the Chicago Bears offense yesterday. And this is a huge reason why. In the red zone, just watch this linebacker from the Tennessee Titans absolutely obliterate Coleman Shelton. I mean, run him over. Coleman Shelton didn't even stand a chance. I understand sometimes these NFL linebackers are built different. But come on, bro. We're not talking about a 6'7", 350-pound defensive tackle running you over. We are talking about a middle linebacker coming right at you, and you know he's coming, and he still runs you over. This play took the cake. This was the play that really finally had me sit back and said, you know what? The Chicago Bears can't sit here and think that Coleman Shelton is the answer at center for the Chicago Bears. You have to have some other options. Ryan Bates can't play center. Doug Kramer can play center as well. They have to be better than Coleman Shelton. How Coleman Shelton won the job, the starting job at center for the Chicago Bears offensive line, is besides me. I don't think he's going to lose his job after 1 week. I think the Chicago Bears are going to try their best to make adjustments, and hopefully he plays better. But it's not going to get any easier than this week against Jeffrey Simmons. Now you're going to Houston and playing guys like Danielle Hunter, like Will Anderson Jr. That Houston Texans defensive line is no joke, Bears fans. So Coleman Shelton in particular has to be better and give Caleb Williams some more time to throw the football, because constantly the pressure was coming up the middle. Caleb Williams really stood no chance, and it was a huge reason why the Bears offense failed to find any type of rhythm against the Tennessee Titans defense. So I don't know what the Chicago Bears are going to do. Once again, I don't think they're going to bench him after one game, but Coleman Shelton should definitely be on the microscope. And if he struggles again against the Houston Texans, which once again is very likely going against Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. in that very good Houston Texans defensive line, then Matt Eberflus and the Chicago Bears offensive coaches have to pull the cord and put Ryan Bates in there, put Doug Kramer in there. You cannot continue to let this guy just get blown past by and put your quarterback, your young quarterback in Caleb Williams, in harm's way. Bears fans, the only reason why I'm ranting is because I'm so tired. I am so tired of seeing bad center play on the Chicago Bears offensive line. If you don't have a capable center, a starting center in the National Football League, that will make the rest of the offensive line look really bad. So Bears coaches, Matt Eberflus, you guys really need to figure this out, because Coleman Shelton after one game, and once again, I'll give him a couple more games if that's what you guys want to do, but Coleman Shelton already is looking like he is not the right fit or the right guy to be the starting center for the Chicago Bears offense. So Bears fans, go ahead and comment down below your reaction to the plays that I broke down on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. What is your initial reaction to the way that Coleman Shelton played in yesterday's win over the Tennessee Titans? Let me know down below in the comment section. But as always, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys. And as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic.